Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Tuesday, August 27th, and we are trying to help you make better financial decisions that are right for you, not for everyone. Sometimes we give advice to someone who joins us on the air, and it may not apply to everyone. That's why we encourage you to take matters into your own hands and go to our website, jillonmoney.com. You can click that Contact Us button, and then we'll be able to guide you based on what's going on in your life. No one else's, just you. It's so much easier that way. While you are on that website and that Contact Us button is following you wherever you go, you should check out our resources and our videos and also our subscription service called Jill on Money Live, $35 for access to quarterly live webinars, plus all the ones we've already done, bonus video content, $35 for 12 months. Maybe the cheapest subscription out there. Okay, today let's talk to Maya, who's on the line from New Jersey. Hi, Maya. How are you?
Hi, thank you so much for having me on. I'm really excited.
Really?
Yes, I've been listening for about, I would say, 7 years. And I'll tell you what my journey was. When I started listening to you guys,
Yes.
I avoided all of your caller episodes because I didn't have any of my numbers together and I didn't know how to go about doing it. And it made me feel really bad. So I only listened to your interviews. But it was motivation from your podcast that I was thinking I really should get my stuff together. And so I feel a lot more on top of it in the past few years.
That's
so thank
awesome.
you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. I love the journey. Now, what's funny about that is, we're all voyeurs, right? You like to listen, but I never want people to feel bad about listening to the show when you hear about other people's stories. So you have to join me. Like what happens for me is I listen to the story of the person, the listener. And I don't really hear the numbers. Like the numbers could be $5 or it could be $5 million. I'm always interested in like what I hear underneath the number. That's much more interesting to me. So I'm glad you got the numbers together, but the numbers are really kind of half, maybe even like less than that. They're like a third of the story. The other part of the story is like who you are and what you want to do. So Maya, now that you got your act together and have certain documents or numbers, tell us who you are, what's going on, and how we can help you out.
Sure. So I am, how old am I? 43. I'm married. My spouse is 48. We have an 8-year-old. And what do you need to know? You need to know. I want to know.
I'll do it nice and easy. Let's do it this way. So you're married. You got an 8-year-old kid. Are you and your spouse both working?
Sort of. So I am working. I am the primary breadwinner of the household. Okay. My husband is a freelancer, an artist. So he brings in a little bit of money, but it's not something that, it's not a whole lot.
Yeah. So he's the primary caregiver to the 8-year-old. And much. He brings in some money. So tell us about your income. How much are you earning?
My income is $208,000 with a bonus, I would say about 20 to 25 a year.
20 to 25% or 20 to 25,000?
20 to 25,000.
See how I was trying to get you a bump up, right?
Yeah,
it was good.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate that. Okay. Should we add in any money for your freelance artist hubby, or should we just say zero so we don't count on it?
It's between 10 to 20,000 a year.
Okay, got it. Now, in your job, let's say you make about $225. Let's make it that. Do you make a retirement contribution based on that?
I do.
How much do you put away?
So I put away the max each year.
Great.
And I think it was about 2 years ago, they started offering the Roth. Mm-hmm. So I do contribute Roth.
Okay. How much is in the traditional side?
Traditional side. Oh, you're going to make me do math.
No. I'm not even doing you can give me the whole balance and then we'll just kind of guess.
Okay. Full balance is $353,000.
Okay. So is it fair to say it's probably more like 50 grand is Roth of that?
About 15% of that is Roth.
Okay.
I don't know what that comes out
That's good. Okay, good. Is that the only retirement account you have, or do you have other assets that are in retirement?
I have some old employer assets.
Tell us about that.
old 403b, 295,000, and
Okay.
old, former employer pension plan that they closed out. So it's the cash balance of about 12,000.
Do we need to move that out? Are they saying like, oh, this cash balance, like you have to move it out by a certain time?
No,
Okay. All right. That's great. So we've
I
got,
have Roth IRAs as well.
tell me about those.
Okay. Roth IRA for me, it's 157,000. For the spouse, it's 88,000, and we contribute the max each year through backdoor Roth.
Does your husband have any other retirement plan left over from anything? Like 'cause sometimes I see artists have SEPs and self employment plans. Anything else that's floating around for him?
No, what we do is we contribute to a brokerage account that I consider his retirement, and we have 255K in there for that one.
Wow, that's great. Okay, so now we've got 350 in the current, another three-ish, 295 in the old 403b, some pension plan money, Roth IRAs, this big fat brokerage account. Any other assets that you guys have accumulated?
Not earmarked for retirement, but we have an HSA, about 13,000.
Okay.
For the kid, we have a 529, 130,000.
Whoa, that's great. 130,000?
Yeah,
Is that in the New Jersey plan?
it's not. It's in New York, I believe.
I don't understand. Like you're the second person I've talked to from New Jersey, and you didn't use the New Jersey plan. Is that because you don't get the tax benefit if you make over a certain amount of money?
That's correct.
Okay.
We don't get the tax benefit. And also, we had heard that the New York plan was
It is
maybe
good.
a little bit better. So,
It would be better if you lived in New York, but okay.
well, that's true.
All right. So we have the 130 grand. Wow. Like you're all set for Rutgers. Do we need to save more than that? Is that, are we done for the 529 right now? Or do you want to try to pay for Princeton?
Don't know about that. I think we're done for the 529. We have another 13,000 in a separate brokerage account. It's our account, but we're earmarking it for the kid just for other stuff in case they need it.
Okay, good. That's great. What about safe money? Like, cash in the bank or something like that?
Right. So we actually have one last brokerage account I didn't tell you about yet.
Oh, okay. Tell me
that
about
has
it.
250,000 in it.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. So it serves about three purposes.
Okay.
About 150,000 we're thinking for whatever future expenses we might need down the line.
Okay.
Not quite retirement, but more down the line.
Long-term money.
Yeah.
Okay.
77,000 of it
Yeah.
we're earmarking for probably just housing expenses, not including down payment, just whatever might happen for a house purchase, possible car purchase.
Okay.
And then we have another 20,000 in there that's in the settlement fund that I consider part of our emergency savings.
Okay. You said housing expenses. Can we just talk about the house for 1 second?
Yep, that's the reason why I'm calling.
Yes. Tell me about the house.
We don't have a house. We rent.
Okay.
We would like to have a house.
Are you sure? It's a pain in the neck. I'm not kidding. It's a pain in the neck. What's your rent right now?
Our rent is $3,800 a month.
Do you like where you live?
We like the town. We would like to buy in the town, but I don't think we want to stay in an apartment. It's just too small for the three of us.
That 8-year-old is busting out, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do we have to pay to be in the kind of house that you would want?
The ones we're looking at that we like are about $850, or I would say more than $850.
Well,
And
how much more?
let's say between
Like 150 more? Could we just say $1 million or not?
We could say $850 to $1 million.
Let's say $1 million. Whenever I hear that, I know it's
No
$1 million. So, all right. So if you did this, right, and you did the $1 million, is the idea that the brokerage account that has the 250 in it, the 150 long term, the 77, can we can I use 200 of that to put as a down payment or not?
Oh, sorry. I didn't finish how much we have. We also have in cash. We have 190 set aside in cash in a high yield savings for a down payment.
So I could put down 200,000 and get you an $800,000 mortgage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you gone and looked at what that would cost you right about now?
I think we would be approved for it. So we were in the housing market we've been in it for about 2 years and got really discouraged after several offers turned down. And so I think we would be approved for it if that's.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd be approved for it also. The question is how you would feel, right? How would you feel if you went from $3,800 a month to, I don't know, $6,000 a month, which is essentially like what? That's just your principal and interest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
it's a little scary, but I think we also have a lot already saved in retirement. So.
Yeah, you do. You do. And you're doing well. Like if I were to check, if I look at your expenses right now, there's a reason why you're able to save all this money. You must have somewhat low expenses, even with, renting and everything. Like, do you have a sense of what of what it costs you to like live your life every month?
I think it's about $8,000 a month, maybe $9,000 if you factor in travel.
And you're also saving on top of it. So what's happening right now, just to make sure I understand this, Maya, you make $220,000, $30,000. Your husband makes whatever he makes, so what, 240-ish. You're maxing out your retirement account. You're putting in you're each doing backdoor Roths. And then on top of that, are you putting money aside every single month?
Yes.
How
We're
much
putting
is
aside
that?
Between $1,000 and $2,000 a month into the brokerage accounts.
So theoretically, if I look at what you're saving and I then divert that and say, okay, well, now that extra money that you were saving will now will pay for the extra, it's going to be an extra $3,000 a month. There's no doubt because, it's going to be property taxes are high in your area,
yep.
Right? So even if I say the mortgage and the principal and interest is 6, I'm going to pay how much in property taxes on this $1 million house? Would you guess?
If $1 million house, it's probably more like $20,000.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So even if I just said $1,500 a month, so that's $7,500 a month, and then there's homeowners. So it's, it's $8,000 a month in housing expenses. So it's basically double what you're paying in rent. Okay. I think you could probably do this. I really do, which is shocking, right? It will put a different kind of pressure on you. Okay. And here's what I mean by that. It may be that especially early in the process, you will have to pull back. You won't be able to save any extra money, right? Yeah, that's just gone. It may even be that you have to think about not doing your Roths for a couple of years because are you in an industry where you'll make more money?
Yes.
Definitely, right? Like your trajectory is higher, right?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I think you can do it. It's going to be such a transition because you're so used to living a certain way and having cash flow. So what I ask of you is that you have to really look at the situation and say to yourself, I know we will not be able to save as much money. However, and here's your big however, we have the money that we need to save for college. It's basically done. We have a bunch of money saved for retirement, and you're not going to pull back from all of your retirement. I'm just saying that you might have to pull back from the Roths in the beginning just to make the cash flow easier on you guys. And you're going to have to get used to this idea that, the cash account of 190 grand, it's like that's gone plus probably another 50. And it's probably going to end up being more than that. Cause I feel like even if you put 200 down, there's going to be 100 of just other stuff and moving and new furniture. You know what I mean? Like you're going to need to spend some money. You have to be willing to to dig into them and spend it. And I find with people like you, Maya, who are awesome savers, that's hard to do. So
it's hard. It's hard to think about it, but I think we need to do it.
I mean, look, here's the thing. You're in an apartment, you're kind of busting out, you make good money, you're on a good career trajectory. I don't think that it's feasible for me to say, like, just keep renting. I really don't. I mean, I guess you could rent a house instead of an apartment, which I don't know. How much would that cost? It probably cost you $5,000 a month, right? Or $6,000.
Probably. Yeah.
So in that case, you might as well do the purchase. If you can give yourself permission to spend the brokerage account money, the cash, and, let yourself do that, see how your cash flow lands, be ready to refinance in the next however many years. But, interest rates are higher now, and maybe even pull back on the backdoor Roths. I think that you can do this. I really do. Can I ask you more, like a few other little extra questions now that we know you can buy your $1 million house?
Sure.
Okay. Do you guys have life insurance?
We do.
Okay. How much?
I have 1.6 in term
Good.
life insurance plus another, I think, 200K from work. And
Okay. Great.
for the spouse, so he's only about 100K right
Mhm.
now through my work.
But like, if something, is he the primary caretaker? Like, I mean, God forbid something happened to him. Would you imagine that two things would happen? Either you would work less or you'd have to hire someone to help out?
Yep.
Okay.
It would probably be hire someone to help out after school.
Okay. Do you have the ability to purchase more life insurance through work on his life?
Don't know. I don't think so.
So I think we should get more life insurance on him. I just
Okay.
want you to look at a 10-year term policy. He's like, do it sooner rather than later, because at 50, it starts to get a lot more expensive. I mean, we really need it for like 5 or 10 years, but I want
Okay.
you to get another $500,000 of coverage on him.
Okay.
Okay.
About $500,000. Got it.
Yeah. Do you have your estate documents done?
We sure do. I feel
You know
great.
what? I don't know what you were saying. Like, you're in great shape. You have all your information. Life is good. Are you going to work forever? What's your story?
I don't want to work forever.
Oh, she's crying. Oh, how much longer?
Oh, I mean,
We got to get this kid through college.
I know.
So we got
do.
15 years, right?
Yeah.
15
we're-
years. You can do
Yeah.
that.
Sure.
Can we get you to 60?
Yes.
You're going to have
You
to
can
kick
get
some
me to
ass and
60.
make some more money. But yes. All right. No pension plan on this job.
No pension.
Okay. And here's how this is going to go. You're going to give yourself permission to do it, number one. And once you do it and you have the house and you're making more money, you'll be able to save more money again. You really will. You just have to get through the next, let's say 3 years or 4 years where you absorb this bigger expense. Okay. And then once that's happened, maybe instead of making 225,000, maybe you're making 275, or, and you'll get back to rebuilding the brokerage account. Okay. And then hopefully we'll be able to get a shot at refinancing your mortgage to a lower rate, and you'll save some money that way. And then you'll be in your dream house. You'll live in the Garden State, and you'll say, it took me 7 years to call her and another
7 years to buy the house.
No, not to buy it, but to feel comfortable in it.
Right. I actually had a question about mortgages.
Talk to me.
Do you think it's better to get a 30-year fixed at this point, or?
Well, it's weird
No.
because, hello.
I'm here.
Hi. So what happened was when mortgage rates spiked up, there wasn't a huge benefit of getting an arm. It may have changed. You'll have to just price it out. But if you give yourself like at least 7 or 10 years, you'll be able to refinance within that time horizon. But I don't think, Mark, I don't know what you found, but I don't remember it being like a great differential between taking the risk of the arm or not. And there wasn't such a big change, was there?
Well, I mean, we just took out a mortgage 3 months ago, and at the time, 30 years were over 7%, and we got a 10-year adjustable at 6.25.
All right, so maybe there is so let's price it out. If you can get it, that's great. And then give yourself 10 years though, for sure. So how do you feel, Maya?
I feel really good. I'm
Yeah?
so grateful.
I feel so blessed that you have come on and you've listened for all that time. Now, let's do some market research. So you listened for all those years without the callers. Are there some interviews that stood out to you? Or did you just fall in love with me and Mark?
And do you now listen? Do you now listen to callers?
Yeah, she's all
now
in. You missed the beginning.
I listen to all of the callers every day. I don't miss any of them. I actually went back and listened, to the callers from a few years back as well. But when I started listening and you were asking people about brokerage accounts, I had no idea what a brokerage account was.
And look at you now.
Yeah.
You're unbelievable.
Yeah, well, you do now.
I mean, it is amazing. You guys have done a great job. What is your husband's medium?
Just performance art. That's what he does.
Really? All right, I'm in. I'm all in. All right, this is our life with Maya, and I'm going to say, please go find yourself $1 million house, spend some money, and enjoy yourself, and know that you have graduated to not just be a daily listener, but now you are someone who has been on the air with us, and so you're in a special extra circle of the elite Jillionaires. Okay?
You guys are the best.
If you have something going on that requires an extra set of ears and eyes on a situation, just go to our website, JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button. We will get your note. And of course, you can subscribe to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Please do something nice for someone else today. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.